Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of English with Chris presents Word of the Day. Today's word of the day is going to be superfluous. 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 This word is an adjective, and the definition exceeding what is sufficient or necessary. This is a very useful word. It's one that I do use quite often myself. And it comes up now and then. It's one that maybe doesn't seem so common, but it's relatively common. Some examples of how to use the word. We can start off with, because the recipe is annoying me with superfluous details, such as adding in a sprig of rosemary, I'm trying another. So here it's making the recipe unnecessarily complicated. So you have your basic ingredients, 5 or 6, but the recipe keeps going off on a tangent and suggesting maybe you could add a sprig of rosemary, you could maybe sprinkle in some extra salt at whatever stage, etc. And you just want to create the recipe, the basic recipe. We have another example here. So my new shoes were delivered in a box 5 times the size of the shoes themselves. Talk about superfluous packaging. Yeah, this definitely is a very good example of the word superfluous. So if you imagine the size of the shoes, you only need a box that's at least as big as the shoes themselves are. Maybe a tiny bit bigger, but not really. So having your shoes in this massive, delivered in this massive box, of course, it's a waste, isn't it? It's unnecessary. It would be sufficient to have them sent in a box the same size as the shoes themselves, not in a box that you could actually pack 5 pairs of shoes in. And last but not least, we have in the age of technology, sending letters by mail seems rather superfluous to me. And yes and no. So in German, we can actually use the word jein, which is nice. It's an amalgamation of the word yes and no joined together. So, of course, this could be quite superfluous. You don't need to send a letter and wait for it to be received because you could just send an email and you'd still have to wait for it to be received. But it would be much quicker, and you could see when the recipient has received it, etc. So, much more practical. However, of course, depending on your reason for sending a letter, sometimes it can be very important. So it doesn't have to be superfluous. Much the same as all of you that like snail mail or communicating with people from different countries, exchanging a part of your culture, maybe sending a little gift or something, writing them a letter, and you have this sort of excitement of waiting for your reply, and maybe you'll also get a little present in return. So that can be very nice. So it doesn't have to be superfluous, but of course, if we're talking about a business viewpoint, you're not going to be sending thousands of letters to different companies, wasting all of those resources, the paper, the time writing the letter out 1,000 times, etc. When you could, of course, just set up a template, send the email, done. So, a very good example of the word superfluous. Also, I wonder if any of you noticed from the picture where the etymology of this word might be derived. So here we have a waterfall, and in the next slide, we also have a waterfall. So a waterfall is something that it flows and it flows over. And the word super is usually used, or used to be used in particular, as an excess of something. So it's literally like overflowing. And this is basically what the word superfluous comes down to. So you have too much of something, or and it can't be contained. So it's more or less what we're talking about with the word superfluous. Of course, this has changed a lot over the years. I think this word originated in like the 15th century, so it's been around for a long time. But a little bit of etymology for you there. Okay, so can you write a sentence using the word superfluous? It might be superfluous to do so, but I would appreciate it. Can you remember yesterday's word of the day? If you can, what was it? And if you also have the time, please do write your answers in the comments below. I look forward to reading them. And if you enjoyed the video, please do leave a like and maybe consider subscribing. It'd be great to see you as a new regular. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. Bye bye for now.